is happening, beautiful people?
What's up, y'all?
So we got Coach Carrie in the house. Coach Carrie Irene.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And then Brandy, the disconnector.
I is Brandy, the disconnector. So y'all, how are y'all feeling this week? As you begin to jump on here, be sure to say hello. What's up? How you doing? How you feeling? So today again, the theme of the month is music. And we're unable to get our guests on again due to, COVID being real. But we're still going to move on with the topic of music because I was just thinking about like when I was a kid, right? And the music that used to bring the music that still brings back those memories of those road trips, especially like the road trips in Germany and stuff that I went through and stuff. It was just amazing times. So, Carrie, what is some of that music that brings back those fun memories or those tough memories, whatever it might be for you?
Well, for me, like I was saying earlier, like really the most nostalgic music for me is church music. Because, growing up in the church, my dad was a pastor. And I always say we was out of 7 days a week, we were at 8. So we were always in church. And it was just always like just a good vibe. And we always had a piano. Well, not always, but a lot of times we always had a piano in our house. So my dad, he was not trained on piano. He didn't really technically know how to play piano. However, he used to dabble on the piano and make up his own music and his own songs. So he would make us, the kids, it was me, my sister, and my 2 brothers, learn these made-up songs that he had. And we could sing them on Sunday. So it was always... We always just like, oh my God, why we got to do this? But, of course, now as adults, it's just like very endearing to think about because it was a good time. We had a good time laughing about it or either just we had a good time complaining about it together, too, as kids. It was just a common bond that we had. What's going on, Angelique, the artist? So, yeah, I think for me, the most nostalgic type of music is church music. What about you?
Like I said, Luther Vandross definitely is in there. In my mother's instance, because my father was actually her second marriage. So her first marriage, there was let's just say he wasn't a good dude. So he survived literally being beat from head to toe, y'all. And the song that the artist that she always says reminds her of that time and how she survived. It was Tina Turner's "What's Love Got to Do with It." That song holds such a strong hold on her life and a meaning of a segment of her life that indirectly is associated with me because it was during that time that she finally said, you know what, enough's enough. She ended up being my dad, and here I come. And without that time of her life, she wouldn't have disconnected from that in order to be available for my father. And and I absolutely love Tina Turner anyways because oh my God.
Absolutely. Tina Turner is
it need to be a holiday if and when Tina Turner passed away. I can't say if, but at the point in time that Tina Turner passed away, I swear there should be a national holiday dedicated to that woman. Everything she went through, and she's like one of the original, go-getters, woman warriors, say Iron Woman, Henry Rollins type of deal, right?
Absolutely. She's the queen of rock.
Right.
She really is the queen of rock. I mean, the way she took music and took a story of her life and got that pain and wrapped it in her success, it's powerful. And a lot of people do that. A lot of artists do that. We had Malak on a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about how, put it this way, in his album, he talks about how one of the albums that most people say is the favorite of theirs that he's produced was in the darkest time of his life. And through pain, that purpose really comes out. It's because when we start really seeing what keeps us afloat, and that's just the inspiration of what we've learned through the things that seem to hurt us the most.
That's so very, very true. And the greatest thing about it all, too, is I didn't realize how much impact that music has had throughout my life. But there are songs that I hear now because my dad loves music. He doesn't listen as much like he used to back in the day. But like I literally have like 8x8 reels of his with music that he recorded. He used to DJ and everything.
Yeah.
And I go back and listen to some of them older songs and everything, and it's like I'm experiencing a piece of my own parents' youth, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I remember my mom and dad, they didn't really listen to a lot of secular music. What's going on, Brother King? They didn't really listen to a lot of secular music just because he was a pastor. But every now and then, it was a treat to see them listen to some oldies. He loved Sam Cooke. A lot of people used to compare my dad to Sam Cooke because he was in a lot of singing groups back in the day, a lot of quartets, and, you know, he sang in church, and people would request him to sing at their church, you know. So as a pastor, we traveled a lot anyway because he would have to speak, do funerals, do weddings, do all these things. But sometimes it would just be a singing program that he would have to do. So like those oldies and stuff, and then seeing him and my mom dancing in the living room, which I've seen both of them get hurt because they tried to be too fancy. One time my mom was doing the penguin and she turned her ankle. It was, I mean, I felt bad for her, but it was very funny. But yeah, it is very nostalgic to think back on those times like that. It's fun. It's
actually interesting that you bring up Sam Cooke, because one of them songs that keep me from completely collapsing mentally at times is that song "Change Gonna Come."
Yes, indeed.
That is a powerful song, and what our generation has done with that song is simply magnificent. Yeah. I'm gonna go find the YouTube video to a rendition of that song from somebody in our age group, and you owe me like, wow.
Yeah, nice. Well, I mean, I like the original myself. Like, I mean,
I love the original.
I like the original, and I like renditions of songs. I was telling you, I was singing "Man in the Mirror" today. I literally recorded myself on Zoom singing "Man in the Mirror" today, just because I just had to, you know, sometimes you just get a wild hair and you just go with it. And I didn't sing it the way Michael Jackson sang it. I sang it to the melody, I sang the lyrics, but I put my own spin on it. And it goes to show that, you know, it just depends on what the emotional connection is with certain songs of how you remix it to the way you want to remix it. So I love a good remix, that's for sure.
Most definitely. So the interesting thing about music, too, is there's actually been some studies. This is based on a Harvard study right here. And they found that listening to and performing music reactivates areas of the brain associated with memory, reasoning, speech, emotion, and reward. Yeah. And I find that so fascinating because I used to be a CNA back in the day before I ever moved to Virginia, where I live now. I was a CNA, and I found it fascinating how people with severe dementia or even advanced Alzheimer's, if you play a song, they would begin singing along and just telling stories about their life that they otherwise wouldn't remember without it being triggered by the music. Right. And I find that so powerful and fascinating. And a lot of us just take for granted how powerful music really is, whether it's triggering memories, triggering emotions, triggering just traumatic events, or even great, amazing events in life. Like me, like anytime I hear Sean Paul, it reminds me of like drill team in high school and stuff, and just yeah. In fact, you know what? That's actually the song that I taught my little cousin the heel toe to. And if you don't know what the heel toe is, you need to look up heel toe on YouTube, because you used to wild out to that song, man.
I love it. Yeah, and then we talked about the percolator. How many people out there probably know that the scar tissue in your knees right now, you can attest, you can give it up.
My knees, my hips, my ankles.
Oh, that percolator come on, you lose your whole mind. Move, top of the percolator. Top of the look at it. What's going on, Sister Tracy and Facebook user?
No, now you know if you don't know anything about the percolator, you missing out on life. And if you are of the Caucasian persuasion, you don't know what the percolator is, get you some black friends. They'll tell you all about it. They
know about that old percolator now. If they're around our age, they know. Put it that way. Yeah, and it's
I know many of people that need hip replacements and knee replacements right now because of the percolator.
I I tell you what, I think the percolator initiates autoimmune diseases.
Wait a minute, Carrie. Say that one more time, Coach Carrie. What you say?
The percolator is what it triggers autoimmune disease.
Beware, percolator triggers lupus.
You know the statistics say that the number one.
I do not know anything about the percolator.
Oh, he do. You know they say the number one group that got autoimmune disease is African American women.
Dance to the percolator. All right, y'all.
Put in the comments what songs are nostalgic for y'all. What is a song that is that one that takes you back? And it could be, any type of experience. And what does it remind you of? Like, what is that song to you guys? Let us know in the chat.
Most definitely. And while you guys do that, we're actually going to take a short commercial break real quick. And when we get back, we will jump into the songs you guys drop for us in the comments.
Yes.
So, till then, hang tight and we'll be right back. And we're back. Did you miss us?
Nah, they did. They missed us.
Let's see what we got in the comments here.
Ryan down there talking about Mary J. Blige.
No more drama. That song reminds me of just the heaviness in the air right around September 11th when it first went down. That was like right before this song came out. And I believe this song kind of came out because of the events of that day. And again, that's a very powerful song, Ryan.
Yeah, it is. No more drama in my life. That came out that recent?
What? No more drama?
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out in 2000, like the end of 2001, early 2002.
Yeah, I thought that song was old.
No, it's not that old.
I did not know that. I guess it's one of them songs, some songs you hear and it's like, I feel like I know this song my whole life.
Right.
It's one of those for sure, because I thought that song was old.
But that's a lot of our music, though, if you think about it.
It is very nostalgic.
Of course, we went over, like, I want you guys to launch it. Let us know what your favorite Earth, Wind, and Fire song is, because we already know who. Like, everybody's favorite all time is probably going to be September.
Which one?
September.
What is my favorite Earth, Wind, and Fire song? I need to see a playlist or something. Like that's a lot of songs. That's a lot of songs.
It is.
Yeah.
So you said Nina Simone, Feeling Good, and Anything Michael Jackson.
And I'm feeling good. I love it.
Real Love by Mary J. Blige is always one of those jams for me.
Yeah.
That's so right there. Like you can play that joint on repeat and get through whatever you need to get through. Shoot.
Yeah, you sure can. I think she mentioned Nina Simone. I think in the past, like probably 5 years or so, that has been the one artist that people have used clips from her tracks like nobody's business. Strange Fruit and huh?
It makes you wonder if it's protected. Was it her that did Strange Fruit, or was it Fitzgerald? Fitzgerald. What's her first name?
Ella?
Ella.
No. What was the one that they did the movie on?
Billie Holiday?
Yeah, maybe it was her. Original.
I know y'all know the answer to this question. Don't say
trivia. But I tell you,
who was the artist that originally sang the song "Strange Fruit"? And if you've never heard the song "Strange Fruit," go listen to that song. It's a very powerful song. It might be sad to some people, but like it's just a part of our history at this point. Can't be sad about it because we still here.
Right, exactly. Yep, it is.
You got it, sis. You was right. Thank you, Tracy.
Well, it said, I think the original might have been Milt Raskin.
Milt Raskin. I've never heard of them.
Me either.
We gotta look that up.
Me either, but I do know Billie Holiday sang it in the movie because I remember watching the movie and that was the very controversial song that she sang.
Now, I don't know why it was controversial because it wasn't controversial, the subject matter that she was singing about.
Right. Well, you know how that is. You know how that is. That's just how it goes because anything that speaks to the truth of one, but yet the diminishing of power of another, nobody want to hear that.
Well, sad but true, but at the end of the day, we still gonna speak on it because it is what it is. If we try to pretend that it's not there, we can't get to the solutions to move around, over, through, and under that mess if necessary. Like you gotta admit it's there in order to get around, over, and through it.
Yep, very, very true.
We're not gonna play that game now.
Very, very true.
So I want to give y'all the second part of the study that I looked up. And again, it was a Harvard study. If you guys are more interested to read the whole thing yourself, I could drop the link to it later on in the comments. But it says 2 recent studies, one in the United States and the other in Japan, found that music doesn't just help us retrieve stored memories. It also helps us lay down new ones. And you know what else I find very interesting about music? It actually affects water. And if any of y'all know anything about the human body is made up of at least 70% water. Mm-hmm. So when you're listening to that angry music, look at the effect that it has. Go on YouTube and look up the study of water in music. They would play soft, gentle, classical music, or even just spiritual music. And they would play it right next to water. And then they put it in the freezer and freeze it. And then when they pulled it out and looked at it under a microscope, it just looked beautiful, just magnificent, like snowflakes, repeated snowflakes. It was just gorgeous. And then they played harsh, like heavy metal music and angry music at the water, and they freeze the water. And they pulled it out, and it's all jagged and just ugh. Right. So imagine what effect music has on us and our bodies. Not just our physical bodies, but our minds, our spirits, our emotional state. I don't know. It's just amazing to me how powerful music is.
Yeah, I agree because it affects vibrations. It affects the way we feel. So like depending on the type of feeling and emotion that it strikes inside of us, depends on the type of vibration that we create around us. So when you think about water, it depends on the waves that are going through it and the way that it is moving in which the time that it starts to freeze. And if that vibration is chaotic, then the pattern it freezes into is chaotic. Not to say that one's good and one's bad, but it's definitely obvious that it has a definite effect on us. So if you want things to be smoother for you, then yes, that positive music is definitely a more positive effect on the vibration that you are creating around you and in you. So I think it's very important, because it's just like any other type of nourishment. It's what we're feeding our psyche, it's what we're feeding our minds, it's what we're feeding ourselves. And, again, all these things are stored inside of us. Like you said, it brings up these memories, which we'll get into that later. Tracy says, well, actually, Billie Holiday was the original singer of Strange Fruit in 1939. Nina did a remake in 1965. I knew both of them sang that song. I love me some Nina Simone. I do love Billie Holiday. I think she's amazing, but I'm definitely more versed than Nina Simone.
Right. I love all three of them, actually. I love Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday and Nina Simone.
Yeah.
All of them just have those very powerful voices, and they also sang songs that are like timeless. Yeah. That's why when that song Tennessee Whiskey came out, it's based on that song. All I Could Do Was Cry. If you pay attention to the melody of that song.
Now, who sings All I Can Do Is Cry?
I believe that's Fitzgerald.
Okay. I'll check that out. And it may be one of those songs like when I hear it, I'm like, oh.
Right. And when you listen to it again, you're like, oh. Right. But what I also want to talk about briefly, too, is the power, or I should say the weaponization of some types of music.
Yeah.
We know it's out there, right. And it's not going to stop, because we already know that like hip hop has been hijacked at this point, right? Mm-hmm. Like I love old school hip hop.
Hip hop has been mocked. It has not been hijacked. Hip hop still lives. Hip hop is very much so alive. It's just there's a separate genre of music that's trying to mock, imitate, and recreate hip hop, and it ain't happening.
Well, you know what? You are absolutely right. Hip hop is a genre unto itself, and there's a lot of people being referred to as hip hop, but no.
And self-proclaimed. Hip hop is not something you can self-proclaim. Hip hop is a culture that you belong to. And that's where we get it mixed up. Hip hop is
when I think of hip hop, I think
of a genre. Hip hop is a
right. When I think of hip hop, I think of Mos Def. Common.
All day long, Mos Def, Common, Q-Tip, even KRS-One.
Yes, that's hip hop. Now, like you got the Nicki Minaj's and Cardi B's and the Lil Kims and all them. Even like T.I. and them. I don't believe them.
This is hip hop,
right? Like they are. Some of them make good music and some of them make not so good music. I will tell you, as a youngster, I was banging me some T.I.
Yeah, that's it.
T.I. and Busta Rhymes and the Yin Yang Twins, all them. Now, the lyrics, when you was dancing to the beat, you wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics. Now I'm older, I'm listening to the lyrics. I'm like, how was I dancing to this shit?
Yeah.
It's like garbage. From the window to the wall. The crowd.
I can't even say all the words. I don't even want to say them. Like I don't even want to say the words.
You used to dance your butt off to that mess. And you think about it now, you're like,
Look, all the what do what? And what was coming down? I feel like I need a whole shower after that song.
Right. And then if you was in the club that song, you definitely needed a shower.
Right. And wash your mouth up.
I listen to positive music. A few songs on my playlist is Tasha Cobbs, Gotta Believe. Oh, I love Tasha Cobbs. And Patti LaBelle, New Day. India Ari, Just Do You. And those are all like wonderful women. Tasha Cobbs is one of the most powerful voices in in Christian music now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the name of the song, but he's like not by.
I like Anthony Brown Project myself. If I'm listening to Christian music, I always put it on Anthony Brown Project.
Right.
Ooh, I was for saving. So you came and changed my life. I love that song. Oh, that song gets me every time.
But that's what it is. Not by might, not by power, by your spirit, God.
Nice.
I love that song.
Yeah.
And Haynes, there's another song she sings about breaking chains too. Love that song as well.
Yeah.
So Ryan, thank you for that, for sharing that.
Is she the one that sings I'm gonna put a praise on it?
I'm not sure. That's a Ryan question for
sure. Ryan. I'm gonna put a praise on it.
You know, Ryan.
That one. That's a fire song.
Antoinette Marie Williams, Anthony Williams, Shamika, Senegal. Those are our
that's who we are.
Gospel specialists. Let's see. Lil' Kim was it for me. Yes, crush on you. No, you seen me in the video. True. How many licks?
True.
No time. Right. How many licks do you get? That's another one of those songs. That's another one of those songs. You listen to the lyrics and you're like, oh my God.
How many?
Oh my goodness. I could not.
Well, it really is different for everyone.
You know what? I think that's part of the reason why I like a lot of bachata and reggaeton and stuff now, because like I love the beat and I can only piece together a little bit, and that's how I'm learning Spanish little by little, just listening to bachata and like one of my favorite groups in that genre is Aventura. And there's another one called Extreme. I don't know if they're still making new music though. And I believe I want to say his name is Romeo Santos. I don't know if Aventura is still together anymore. But even if they're not, I still love that genre of music. It's so chill, but at the same time, it's like a very romantic vibe. It's
okay.
Cool.
Okay, I like romantic vibe now.
I will listen to everything from bachata all the way to heavy metal. It just depends on my mood, what I'm trying to hear, like in a beat. Because you know some of that heavy metal, especially like System of a Down or a Disturbed, the music.
I can't do it.
The music itself is like them. I don't know what it is. It's the rhythm of the drums that be getting me.
I can't do it. I can't. And, you know, and I have nothing negative to say about the music. I just know for me, it doesn't settle me. You know what I mean? And it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? It doesn't like, oh my God, turn that off. I can block it out. But if the fact that I can block it out lets me know it's not my genre. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, I've been at your house and you've been listening to music, and I literally thought that Brandy was listening to one song for an hour. And our friend was like, are we still listening to this song? And she was like, this is an album. I'm like, it all. Because I completely blocked it out. I thought it was one extremely long song. You know, like a Freebird. You know, Freebird lasts for how long? You know.
I have no idea.
There's some songs that are like that. There's a lot of albums that make ballads.
I agree with what Ryan just said. The Brat was like almost the baddest female rapper for me as far as flow.
All right, rough and tough with the Afro puffs. Ray, rock on with your band.
The Brat was one of the only female rappers that was the same speed, if not faster, with her flow than Tech N9ne, which is
right. She was it. She's a radio personality now. I think this.
I'm gonna need the information on that because I love the Brat.
Really? Oh yeah. She's on the I think it's either the Steve Harvey Morning Show or Ricky Smiley. I think it's Ricky Smiley. Yeah, she's a radio personality now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna need to check that out. And one of my favorite radio personalities before hearing that is actually Angie Martinez.
Who that is?
She used to jump on tracks with like Fat Joe and them back in the day. And she's kind of obscure. You won't really hear a lot of her work unless you know who she is. But being from Colorado, like you ain't had nothing to do. So music was our jam.
Right. Hey, it makes sense. You know, it's not a bad jam to have. How about that?
Right.
It's not a bad jam to have at all. So that's good.
That part. So, y'all, we have reached another commercial break, but when we get back, I'm going to jump into my segment and share a little bit about the way that I've been thinking about things and how I've managed to pull myself out of certain funks just based on shifting my thinking. So, when we get back, I'll jump into that segment and then we're going to jump right back into this musical discussion as well. So, hang tight. We will be back shortly. And yeah, don't go nowhere, y'all. We'll be right back.
You fight again. And if you want my opinion, I'll let it take me away. Only relief is the four on the floor and the crowd that goes, oh, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, oh, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
Hey y'all, I am back. It's Brandy the Disconnector, and this is my segment that I refer to as Piece by Piece by the Disconnector. So today I want to talk about some of those things that we've been like told that is our responsibility or whatnot, and it really isn't. So most of us at some point, if not currently, we keep finding ourselves dealing with people that we shouldn't allow to take up time and space in our lives. What I mean about this, I mean there are people that have expectations of us to inconvenience ourselves based on people who do not appreciate the time that we go out of our way to help with certain situations or just spend time with them, whatever the case might be. And we end up feeling like, okay, I sacrificed peace of mind to go hang out with this person or do a favor for this person. And I feel like I just got the short end of the stick. And I'm like, how many times do we need to feel like that before we say, yo, no? No, sometimes the word no is necessary because at the end of the day, we all have those people that if we allow them to, will misuse and abuse us. And some of us also have children that are watching us do this. And they're going to come up feeling the same way we feel, right? So people, like, we can choose to deny access to our space. But most of the time we deal with people out of a false sense of loyalty. Or maybe we even want to deal with folks just to keep the peace for the sake of others or to keep a job or a career or because fear drives us and other things like that. But again, why? Why do we allow people to deny us peace of mind and in even more extreme cases, our very safety? And this isn't going to be a popular opinion, but it's what I've learned. We choose to. When we choose to show up to a family function knowing dang well grandma gonna talk sideways at the side of her head, she either going to talk down on you or compare you to another family member that you probably don't get along with because they think they're better than everybody else. Either they're extremely bougie, and there ain't nothing wrong with being bougie as long as you're respectful with it. But you're either really bougie or they're like down here somewhere and being compared to somebody that ain't even trying to do better with their life. Either way, you know this person. It could be a grandparent. It could be that uncle. It could be that family friend that nobody don't know how to say, stay your butt home. You cause too much freaking problems. Whoever it is, if you know they're going to be there and you know they start shit, why are you there? And if it's because you don't want your family to say, well, you ain't show up because you got... Yes, I ain't show up because I like my peace. If I'm going to be in a space, people are going to respect me and celebrate me being there. I don't want to be tolerated in any space that I go into. And when you finally get that mindset about yourself, there are certain things that you will cut short before they ever become a problem. Case in point, you know you got that one or two family members that come out the woodwork only when they need something. And if you break down on the side of the road, who the hell can you call? You need to start holding people accountable for that. Do not go out your way to help somebody you know damn well wouldn't help you unless it doesn't inconvenience you. If it doesn't hurt you one way or another to help somebody, that's great. Go help them. But if you're stopping, if you're like at work and somebody calls you, like, hey, I'm broke down on the side of the road, and you know you got a cousin that don't work, that's probably sitting on his girlfriend's couch playing a goddamn video game right now that they could call instead, you tell him, yo, call Ray Ray. He ain't doing nothing. Because you dropping everything for somebody that wouldn't do the same for you sets up a principle that will continue to repeat itself until finally you get fed up. And remember, when you repeat this cycle over and over and over again, you're also simultaneously blocking blessings that you're not yet ready for because you'll just give them away. So remember that when you find yourself making a choice between dealing with this or not dealing with it and choosing peace. It's all right to choose peace. It's necessary to choose peace because peace allows for growth. Peace allows for the breaking of certain destructive cycles. And that is it for the first segment of Piece by Piece with the Disconnector. So y'all, I hope you enjoyed this segment. Similar pieces are coming just as well. And back to the regular program. Boom, Betty.
Absolutely amazing information, Brandy. I love that. I love it, love it, love it. And Ryan has corrected me in the comments, y'all. That was not the brat. I'm sure y'all probably knew that. I didn't. No, don't be honest, I didn't. I didn't know that was Lady Rage. I thought that was the brat.
Lady Rage. Now, isn't she a reggae artist, Ryan? Isn't Lady Rage a reggae artist?
I don't know. I can tell.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed it was. Yes, it was. And I like that because we do have a lot of times in our lives where we just be doing stuff. We get caught up in just doing stuff. And we don't ask ourselves enough questions. Like, why am I doing this? Why do I keep doing this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of times we just really need to ask ourselves, what am I doing?
That part. And it's interesting. She is a rapper. I need to look her up then. It's interesting that when I finally started doing the opposite of what I was taught as far as allowing people to misuse and abuse me because they held the moniker or tag or title of family, I luckily have an amazing husband in my life that helped me start to shift and understand that family are the people that act like it. So guys, my segments are going to consist of the lessons that I've learned over the last specifically 6 to 7 years that has led me to be able to disconnect from things that were basically holding me back because I was allowing it to, and connecting to the things that now have put me in a position that I'm connected with my sister Queen Carrie here. Mm-hmm. Carrie, the Coach Carrie, absolutely amazing person. You got people like Ryan in the house, and you got Antoinette Marie Williams, and you got the Tracys of the world, and Sheila and Melissa, and it would take me an hour and plus to name all the members of our tribe that we deal with on a regular basis. I would not have been able to connect to that if I was busy feeling sorry for myself and playing victim mode because I kept allowing people to take my eye off the ball, so to speak.
Very true.
When you learn that that's what's actually happening, the power you will wield is infinite.
Will. It's a will in the middle of the wheel.
Willed.
Will.
Does anybody remember that part from what is it? Never Die Low?
No, it just sounded funny to me. I don't even know what you're talking about. It's
a DMX movie. No, you know what? That might have been Cradle to the Grave. But either way, it's a DMX movie. He goes in and being into this music conversation. Of course, DMX can be involved.
DMX has movies?
He was in like 3 or 4 different movies. But I believe this one was Cradle to the Grave. And he walks in, and this other black guy just thought he was too good for him said, basically he was there to buy a car. The guy talked out the side of his neck, and DMX looked at him, and he said, "Yo, I want this," and he pointed at another dude, told him, "Come over here and ring it up." Dude rings it up, and the original dude was being a pompous ass, like, "Come back and see us, dog. Roo, 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 roo." Like, that's what you get.
The bar, get That sound more like Fox and the Hound. That's what you say when you buy what you've been trucking.
But I want to say though, there are too many songs that just remind me of different points in my life. Yeah. And I'm interested to see like which songs, because like right now one of my favorite songs whenever I need that little bit of motivation, that little kick in the ass, is J. Cole, Middle Child. And I know it's slightly off what some people consider normal motivational song, but I do this for
What song is it?
J. Cole, Middle Child.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. I sing a little bit of the lyrics, but they're a little bit out the way, so I ain't gonna do that. But
mine is Londrell, Stay Free.
I've never heard that song. You're gonna have to drop me that link too.
It's so good. It's so good. It's just talking about the first line in the song is, "I gotta be thankful because I know someone lost their life today." And like you can see every moment of any day, and it's always true. You know, just that part alone is just so good, and it's good. It's a really good song. I'm gonna put it in the comments. I'll put the link in the comments here, and put the J. Cole one in there because I want to hear that Middle Child.
Almost definitely. Now, y'all, all of us got these songs that help us stop whatever negative pattern our mind is on. What's that song for you? I want you guys to drop in the comments. What's that song that helps you stop negative thoughts in its track and helps get your mind back on positive things?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
and I want to also add that I mentioned Samskaras a lot in my lives, and I've never really broke down what it means or where it comes from or anything like that, because while we're talking about songs and just remembering what happened when the song played, or remember how you felt when that song used to come on, that is a slight samskara, and samskaras can be beneficial, but they can also be detrimental. So if there is a song or something that puts you in a bad mood, or that turns you the wrong way, or if you hear it, you're like, "Oh, turn that song off because it reminds me of something." Take that moment to really dive back into yourself and figure out what it is within you that you have not released in order to not let that affect you. Because I was telling Brandy before we came on, there are any golly, I forgot his name already, but any songs that there was a certain song that reminded me of a stalker I had. Did you type it in, Daddy?
I got you.
When I was in college, there was a young lady who I became friends with, and we were fast friends, because the way my dorm was set up, I had a handicap room. So typically you have 4 people in a dorm room. Mine only had 2, and it had a joined bathroom, and on the other side there was 2 other people because it was a handicap bathroom. So I kind of lucked out. And so my roommate had a boyfriend that lived on campus in an apartment. So she was literally never home. She came home to wash clothes, switch her laundry, and she left. She was never there. So just like I had my own apartment. Well, she was a real good friend of mine. She was hanging out all the time. And then all of a sudden one day, someone started writing notes on the dry erase board on the door, because in a dorm room, if you're familiar with dorm rooms, a lot of times every door already has a dry erase board. Your RA, which is the resident assistant, they would leave notes or different things for the new students and stuff. Or if you had friends in the hall, they came by and they went there, they just write a note on your door. Well, somebody started writing little compliments on my door, like, "Oh, I really like your jeans today," or "Your hair looked nice today," or "I was gonna walk you to class, but I didn't know if you wanted to be bothered," and just random stuff.
Like,
who is writing this? So me and her would be coming, from the lunch room or from playing basketball or working out. Like, we hung out all the time. And she would come hang out in my room, and we would literally for over a month try to figure out who is leaving these messages on my dorm door. And I'm just like, I don't even know that. And at college, like now high school, I knew everybody. College, I didn't know that many people. And all the people I knew were guys, So, and these were guys that I played basketball with. These were the guys that I was hanging out with and flirting with and dating and stuff. These were my homies, So they were all starting to get bothered too. So like, if it was night, I didn't go anywhere by myself. Like I had like an entourage around me because this went on for months. Finally, my friend, she was from Africa and she was going back to Africa because her student visa was up and she was going back. So right before winter break, she was leaving winter break, and leaving. So it was a very short break, but she was like, stayed in my room the night before she left. And I was just like, "Oh, I'm going to miss you so much," and this and that and the other. And she was like, "Oh, I miss you too." And then that night, I remember I was in bed and I remember seeing a light in my room. And she was staying with me that night because she was leaving the next day. And I saw a light in my room, which means the door opened. So I got up and I'm like, "Where did she go?" And so she was gone. And I was just like, well, she must have had to go back and get something, do this, do that, whatever. Well, I went back to bed. Well, the next morning I get up, there's a letter that has been stuck under my door. And I opened the letter and it's this blue paper with like watermarks all over, like actual water. It looked like under water. And it had these dolphins around the edges and stuff. And it was this 2-page letter of her telling me that the entire time she was my stalker. Right. And I'll go as far as to even say her name. Her name was Clavender. Clavender. Why you do that to me? Why did you just tell me? What'd you do that scared me half to death for months, Clavender? Why? Just tell me why. Doggone Clavender. And I can't forget the name Clavender. It's just a lavender with a C on it. Lavender's supposed to be smooth, but you add that C, it turns to chaos. Clavender. So if you got some scholars out there over songs, make it into a fun thing. Make it into a story. Make it into something that doesn't bother you anymore. Don't let music of all things bother you. Music is such a beautiful thing. So let go of your samskaras if you have any, because really what a samskara is, and I pulled up the definition just so I can kind of break it down. Samskara is Sanskrit. The Sam stands for complete or joined together, and then the kara part means the action. So it's something that has action that calls something to join to you and stick to you that you haven't been able to release. So that when something filters through you, it is always touching that thing inside of you. So then it's bringing up emotions that you have not yet released. So when you can think of something and you can smile and let it go, it means it's filtering through you. But when it sticks and it bothers you, or it affects you in a very dramatic way, that's your opportunity to truly go inside and take inventory of what experiences that you've had that you really still need to work out and just really let go. And some scholars work both ways. They work good and bad, because you can have sometimes where there's a bad thing and it makes you upset, but it also can affect your present when you can't let go of good things. Like if something good happened in a certain situation, then you expect every situation that you have to be like that previous good situation. And you're really missing out on present moments that could be absolutely amazing because you're wanting to be like something from your past. So that's some scholars work both ways. So the good and the bad needs to be released for you to really embrace the present.
It sounds like a plan, man. You just talked about some scars and need to let go of some things. So what are some steps that people can take to let go of some things if there's some scars are linked to negative experiences?
One of the things is ask the right questions. Why is this affecting me? We skip that step a lot of times. A lot of times we go straight into that pisses me off, or I don't like that, or I ain't even gonna deal with that. For instance, like the music. When I said I don't like heavy metal, or I don't identify or connect with heavy metal, I don't have any negative feeling towards heavy metal, but I could. That would be a step that I would miss. Like, why do I not like heavy metal? And it's as simple as the rhythm is really fast and this and that and the other. But when it comes to like people, right? One of the things I always tell people, and one of the things I think is a very good indicator of growth, is when someone annoys you and you ask yourself, what is it within me that is being annoyed? Not why are they annoying, not what are they doing that's annoying me? Why do they annoy me so bad? It's what is it within me that's being touched that is being annoyed? Because you can take that same situation and apply it to any person and it'll still annoy you. That's how we come up with pet peeves. And I always say, I used to say that my pet peeve are things that does not make sense. And what I had to realize for myself is that I have to make sure that everything I do makes sense. Because then it was touching something within me because I hadn't been making sense out of the things that I had been doing. Or when people didn't complete things, oh my God, it would drive me nuts. Like they said they was going to do it and they didn't come through. I had to look back and see how many times I had done that same thing.
Well,
right? And so it's growth because then you start to bring everything inward and then that's something you can control. You can't control nothing nobody else do. You can complain about it all damn day, but it's not going to do anything until you start to go within and see what is in me that is being touched. That's something you can do something about. You can't do nothing about negative Nancy and lazy Lucy and crazy Craig. You can't. But
and not crazy Craig.
Look within. Crazy Craig, girl. Crazy Clavender. Exactly, Tracy. It is the perfect time to reflect. Absolutely. Crazy Clavender.
Clavender the clown.
Clavender. And that's the thing. I have no ill will towards Clavender. Now,
it's a great story. What's the point of having ill will at this point?
That's good. Women get it on tonight. That used to be our song. Me and her used to sing that. I got a girl, but you look good tonight. I was like, oh, and all the time, girl. Talking.
I'm gonna laugh for no reason out of nowhere just because of that story.
Every time you hear Montel Jordan, you can be like, Clavender. But now it's just like,
I will not forget that name.
Not ever, girl. Lavender, smooth. Clavender,
nutty. All right, y'all. We gotta take another short commercial break, but when we get back, we'll give you our closing remarks and let you know next week's show, which is going to be amazing. So, give us just 3 moments. We'll be right back, y'all. know you did.
That's my Ole Mills pose. Who took Ole Mills pictures? Show of hands. Who took Ole Mills pictures? Did you take some?
School pictures between the years of 1980 to about 1999. Got an Ole Mills picture somewhere.
Look, every time they say, stick your head out, tilt your head, chin out, turn, tilt.
Why didn't they just say assume the position?
That shoulder action, boy.
I cannot. So y'all, one, thank you for joining us this fine evening. Two, we actually have a special guest in the house next week by the name of Princess. She is a local artist here to my area of Virginia, and I'm extremely excited to have her on. She's extremely talented, and she also has a single on YouTube, which we will tell you all about next week. So with that, Carrie, what are your closing remarks for this wonderful evening?
Find the music that suits you. Like, we're all different. We're all spectrums in this life, right? It's like the rainbow. Like, literally, we're different shades. So don't let nobody tell you that your music ain't good. Like, for real. Don't let nobody tell you your music ain't good, because your music is specific to who you are, what your DNA is made up of. And just enjoy it to the fullest, because music is so very powerful. It really can change your mood in an instant. You get that one song and you can rock with it. Shoot. You can rock with that thing all day, and it can just really change the trajectory of your day. But two, don't get so attached to the songs or anything else, the people, the places, the things, that it causes some scar inside of you that you become dependent on your past. That is my final thought.
Wow. That's a hell of a thought. I love it.
That's a hell of a thought.
So my thought is, when I was coming up and I realized I was very into all kinds of different music, I used to be told that, like, I wasn't black enough, but, like, if you're black, you're black. First and foremost. But I honestly stopped worrying about that, because at the end of the day, my blackness is not determined by the type of music that I listen to. And honestly, we become more aware of and understand and appreciate each other more when you learn to experience other types of music, whether it's Spanish music, and you got several genres even within Spanish music. You got bachata, you got salsa, you got reggaeton, you got, like,
polka.
I wouldn't call polka Hispanic music, but okay.
I'm too silly. It's the wine. I've been drinking.
Although, you got the mariachi music, and there's so many genres just within the Latin side of things. Right. And you got several genres of even rock and everything too, from your grunge to your heavy metal and so on.
Yeah.
Be more open to the different types of music. You're not gonna like everything, but I literally like everything from classical all the way up to, I don't know, I couldn't tell you. I've yet to find something that I absolutely hate. I'll just say that.
Right.
But that's what's made me open to other people's cultural differences. And I'm not going to say I like and love everybody, because I like and love everybody that like and love me. You hate me, I don't hate you, but I will deal with you accordingly if you make it a safety issue. I'll show
piece by piece.
Piece by piece. Peace be still, as Medea said. Wait, guys. Serious question: do we laugh too much on the show?
No such thing.
So that's what I want to say. Be more open to the different types of music out there. Don't automatically shut something down because it's associated with different types of people or whatnot. Judge it from your own lens, not based on any prejudgment based on who or what is responsible for the music. You can turn animal sounds into music for all, like, ask Malak, aka Shadow God. But with that, we're going to wrap it on up here. Be sure to follow Carrie at ATVA_impact on Instagram. And you can follow me on Instagram at Brandy the Disconnector. And of course, you can follow us both at The Coach and the Disconnector on Facebook. And with that, we are out. We will see you guys next week. Peace.